Afternoon everybody, Rich here, back for another video for the Diecast F1 review, and here today is the Williams Mercedes FW36 from the 2014 Formula 1 World Championship, and in the car is Felipe Massa. The FW36 started the 2014 season as a bit of a surprise really. The car was fast straight out the blocks into winter testing with a new Mercedes power unit, and it really showed that the Williams team knew what they were doing when it came to building a car, but I think it was more driver and, well, I'm not really sure, setup, basic design, I don't know, maybe it's the blown diffuser, who knows, but 2014 was a real step in the right direction. After two really shit seasons and one relatively lacklustre season in 2012, the cars were, well, awful, and the drivers, apart from Valtteri Bottas, were pretty useless as well. 5 points in 2011 and 2013, and sort of about 50-60 points scored in 2012. Although a win was scored, there's nothing really. The team really did struggle, and 2014 was a step in the right direction. Securing the Mercedes power unit was basically the best thing they could have done. Also, the Martini livery as well, which stands out. Well, doesn't stand out hugely, but it does stand out compared to a lot of the other cars. But there's a bit more that could have been done. But the car started testing straight out the blocks, fast, and was pretty reliable as well. Coming into the testing in a plain blue livery as well. But they were a midfield favourite going into the season opener. But the car didn't really produce the results early on. The car was, although fast on certain circuits, it really didn't live up to expectations in the first half of the season. Although top 6 starts, top 4 starts, the car dropped pace pretty quickly, bedding out its tyres and not really having enough downforce to challenge the front runners. Mercedes were not going to be caught anyway, but Ferrari and Red Bull were a bit further ahead, and even Force India had the upper hand going into the early part of the season. But it wasn't until the Austrian Grand Prix where things turned right for Williams. A front row lockout at the Austrian Grand Prix, conceding third and fourth finish in the race. Second place at the British Grand Prix for Bottas, as well as at the German Grand Prix, both races where Felipe Massa was knocked out on the first lap. Whether they were his fault or not is left to be debated. But pretty much every other race of the second half of the season, the car was on the podium, or at least a double point scoring was on the cards, and a really nice end of season double points finish, or double podium finish, at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I think it's clear to say that it was the highest points haul recorded in Formula 1, second and third, which would have been a lot anyway, but also double points on that day as well. So I think Williams hold the record for the biggest points haul of the season, or ever in Formula 1. Don't think we'll ever see double points again, will we? And just as I start to talk about the model, or at least go to talk about the model, the sun goes in and reduces the sunlight, but never mind. But yeah, the FW36 was definitely a step in the right direction going into 2015. But in my opinion, 2015 was not really as good, and also the car wasn't as good looking either. But enough about the real car, and on to the model itself. Now this is a Spark model. It's the first Spark model I've ever got my hands on, and it's worth quite a lot of money. Well, in comparison to Minichamps anyway. A quick look at the car anyway. It's a resin model as well, so it doesn't really come into the... does it come under diecast? I don't really know, but at least it's Formula 1 anyway. It's a 1/18 scale, so I shall review it. It's a resin model, so have a quick look around the car. Got the very nice Martini branding across the along the nose. We've got a peg on the nose as well, with the Senna branding on there as well. Oh, gone a bit out of focus there, but you can see it there, the Senna logo there, as well as the W on the nose. You can also see the decal is also quite bold as well, so you can sort of see the edging of it, so it's a bit too thick of a decal put on the nose there, but not a big issue there. So got the tyres as well, got the hatch on the suspension. Look along the nose, very nice detailing there. And this is the Malaysian Grand Prix edition as well, so there's not as much sculpting around the rear bodywork as I think there should be. I'm not sure how much the car evolved throughout the season. Maybe there's some redesign at the rear as well, but not really sure. But have a quick look around the detailing. Have a quick look at Felipe in the car there. Got a very nice helmet and visor there, and you can actually see his face inside there. I think I haven't actually looked to be honest. I think it's a hollow helmet with his head inside there. A quick look down this way as well. If I just move the car around so you can get a better look. So where are we? Well, there we are. So you can see the steering wheel in there. All the decals and things all painted on nicely there, applied. Just turn the car around again. Get a proper look inside the cockpit there. Seat belts and all that attached there. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think they are separate pieces rather than being decals on the body. But it stands out a bit more there. So look along the rear here, got some air vents there. A little chip on the decal there, which is a bit of a shame, but not a big issue there. Look along to the rear of the bodywork, got the rear wing here, and some nice detailing all the way around. So we'll look around to the rear now. It's quite a heavy car actually for something that's made out of fancy plastic, and some dust has fallen off the back of the car. I'll get to the reason why there's dust falling off the car, but I will get to that later on. But have a quick look at the rear bodywork here. So you've got the rear diffuser and the bodywork around the fancy exhaust pipe. So some nice detailing in there, nice rear axle as well. Also the rear wing is attached to the car, or attached to the floor, rather than a beam wing at the bottom. Going out of focus a bit there, I do apologise. Now we spin the car around a bit more, trying not to scrub the tyres too much. But some nice detailing there. Look around the rear detail. There's a lot of glue strands hanging about on this model. You can sort of see their glue sort of loose and sort of making a mess on the car. I would clean it off, but I'm scared I might damage the car, so I won't be doing that. But have a quick look around here. The front wing really does stand out for me on this car, because the rest of the car's white, the front wing is all black, and it does really look quite good. And you can see here the dust on the floor there. And the reason for that dust is because the base the car is attached to in the box is made out of wood, and when you undo the screws and that, it brings out a little bit of sawdust from the pre-drilled holes in the base. But overall, apart from that, excuse me, overall it's not a bad car. One of the better looking cars, I think the best, in my opinion, the best looking car next to the Red Bull in 2014. Get the peg there. I think Williams could have painted that black or something to match the front wing, but no big issue there. Just do a quick zoom out there, get a good look at the car and that area there. Now what I'll do now is I'll put the camera down and lift the car up and do a few poses with it, or at least turn things around and get some good looks at it. So I just turn the car around. Quite a lump this thing is. So you've got the car here, just a quick look underneath. There's not much to say going on underneath. You can see the floor has been painted or varnished in a wood plank effect. A bit bold there, but never mind. And there's no made in China or anything like that on the bottom, just the S.p.A brand there. That's all you got written on the bottom. So no identification on the car at all. But never mind. So that's that. Got more of that dust there, really, the screw holes attached to the base of the car. And also got a few little nuggets on the bottom of the front wing supports there, which are a bit unusual. Maybe the front wing is, I don't know, maybe they had some extra pieces to attach there, I don't know. It's just sort of a moulding error, I think. But no issue there. Also got some scrub on the bottom of the tyres there, which is an issue. So that's the underside of the car. Just have a quick glance around the rear diffuser. I've already looked at the rear, but get another look here. A bit more detailing. So we look in the rear there. And it's getting dust on it already, even though it's only been out the box about 5 minutes. You can see the exhaust pipe there, all nicely detailed there. The monkey seat, and the rear wing where it's attached to the diffuser down the bottom there. So that's all the detailing there. There's quite a lot of detailing on the suspension as well. But very nicely done. So I've done the cockpit, so we have a quick look around there as well. So we've done the cockpit already, but I'll look in there anyway. There's all the detailing you need to see. And the parts of the nose on top of the chassis, these parts here, these are actually made out of wire and are very sharp, so they don't catch your finger on them. And very nice model indeed. That really is the plus points of this model, the amount of detail they put onto it. The downsides, There is one big downside to this model, but I'll get to that in a minute. The other downside is, like I said before, is the glue strands all over the place, which are a bit annoying, but not a big issue. If you got a bit of time, a bit of patience, and a delicate hand, you can just scrub them off. The other issue, the big issue I say with this car is it doesn't roll. The wheels are jammed solid. I'm not sure if this is universal with Spark models or it's just this Williams that has that issue. The wheels are rock solid on there and they do not turn. There's no steering either, so the wheels stuck in that forward position, and the rear wheels, front wheels, they don't turn at all. I have tried turning them, but I probably end up snapping the suspension off. So that's something I will not be doing. But never mind. So yeah, that's really the only downsides to this model. The upsides is it's absolutely fucking good looking car. It's absolutely stunning to look at, and I love it. Although it does cost a pretty penny, you know, it's about, I don't know, what's the price of it these days? I think the knockdown price is about £90, but I think when it on release it's about £150, something like that. Ridiculous money, even though it's, you know, a resin model. But I don't know. Prices these days are ridiculous. I mean, the Barago Ferrari, even though it's not as good a detail as this, you know, it's still miles cheaper, and I don't see why, you know, Minichamps, Spark and all that price themselves out, but who knows, who cares in some departments, but never mind. But like I said at the beginning, this is the Malaysian Grand Prix edition. I will put the car to one side and talk about the bits it comes in, the bits it's attached to, so that's that bit out of the way. Got the wooden base here, which is just a black piece of wood, very nicely, well, it's a nice piece of wood, and one of the bungs just fell off, or a couple of bungs that hold the car in place. I left the screws in because they're screwed right into the base, but these plastic bungs have just come off. And on the front of the plinth you got the Williams FW36 Mercedes, number 19, 7th Malaysian Grand Prix 2014, Felipe Massa. And that looks, no, that's really all it is you want to know, really. Needs a bit of a clean, because like I said, when you undo the screws, all the sawdust comes out the screw holes and it gets all over the bloody place, and it really does need a clean, but that's that bit out of the way. The car, when it's in its box, comes in a polystyrene case, so it's not going to rattle around too much. The box the car comes in is a big blue box, number 19 on it, and on the top it says Williams FW36 2014, and there's me in the reflection. Hello. On the side it says 19, on the back it says 19, on the other side it says 19. There ain't a lot to this box, and then you get on the bottom and it says all the gubbins there you need to know. And yeah, that's pretty much everything you need to know there. So that's the box, get that out of the way, and we bring back the car for one last look. And I have to say, it is an absolute stunner. There are a few weak points on the car. I already said the issues with it, but there's a few structurally weak parts of it. The front wing is a bit, although bendy, there is a bit of a weak point where it's attached to the underside of the nose. To the pillars of the front wing is a bit iffy, so I wouldn't put too much pressure on that. The wing mirrors, they pegged on, I think they're fairly solid. The barge boards and things like that are all pretty solid. I think there's a police car going by, so let the siren go away. Yep. The antennas on the top of the nose are a bit fiddly, and that one there's a bit loose, but at least it's still attached. The T-cam is fairly solid. Everything's fairly solid on this car. The rear wing is absolutely, well, apart from flexi, is pretty solidly attached to the base of the floor. So apart from that, I would say definitely a getter, but if you're not expecting to play with it on the carpet, then don't worry, don't bother, because it won't roll. But on display it will look absolutely brilliant, and I have to get myself a proper display case for this car to appreciate it more, because cars in closed boxes, they don't display well. I don't really want to display it out in the open because dust is a fucking nuisance, as a lot of people have found out and been asking me how to sort the dust problem. Either get yourself a display case, a display box, perspex one or glass if you like, or just leave it in the box. Although on past experience the box tends to leak air as well and you get dust in there, but never mind. Yeah, I would recommend this car. I'm not sure how many different versions have been released. I know there's the Abu Dhabi version was announced for the second and third place car with a different livery, basically the same livery but with the red stripe removed and the Martini brand blanked off. But I'm not sure if that one's been released. I know it was announced, but whether it was released or not, I don't know. Maybe they just focused straight on the 2015 car. I don't know. But in my opinion, the 24 or the Abu Dhabi version did look pretty good as well. I mean, it's what I call the Codemasters livery, basically. You know, with the Codemasters F1 games, they don't have the red stripe on the car. So it's just blue, light blue and dark blue stripes. And it does look pretty good. But I'm not sure if Spark are ever going to release it. If they have already, I don't know. But it was definitely announced. And yeah, I don't know if it's going to be released or not. But anyway, I would recommend this model. Price-wise, I've already mentioned about 140 to 140, maybe about £90 on a good day, but probably something around 130, £140 you're probably going to have to pay for this car. Of course, now you've got the 2015 cars being released. It's probably the price might come down, or it might be a complete rarity and the price will just go up. You don't know. Anyway, I'm not really sure what else to say about it. But yeah, an absolute stunner of a car. If you can pick it up cheaper than what I've just mentioned, then bloody hell, let me know as well, because I'll pick up the other one. But yeah, it is a stunning model. Let down by the roller, or the sort of the posability of the car. I mean, the Pirelli tires are all perfectly aligned. But at least on this side, are they the same on the other side? Yeah, they are. On both sides, the Pirelli tires are perfectly aligned with each other. But hey ho, never mind. Maybe the car wasn't designed, well, was designed not to have turning wheels, but never mind. Who knows? Yeah, not much else I can say about it. I've already mentioned the price and things like that. And I would recommend picking this car up. It's an absolute stunner. But if you can pick it up for a lot cheaper than what I mentioned, then good luck. But anyway, this is Rich, signing off, logging off and disappearing, and I shall return with another review. So, bye for now.